I had an interesting revelation last night. It's gonna sound silly, but I kind of remember that comics are cool. Um, I was working late last night, really late last night. I'm trying to get caught up. I'm not going to be able to stick to my schedule this week, so I'm working ahead a little bit. And so I was working really late last night on my latest page. Finished everything up on my iPad, moved it over to my MacBook Pro, opened it up in Photoshop, just getting everything prepped and ready to go, and to load it up onto Patreon and then, file everything away. And I just realized like how cool all of it is that I'm able to do all of this. When I was in high school, I had a group of friends and we all drew comics, and we all drew comics for the high school newspaper. And some of us couldn't afford a computer or anything, so a couple of us had Mac LCs, or my friend Cal had a Mac TV. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but it was essentially a TV, but also a Macintosh, and it was cool because it was black, not the usual gray back then in the mid-90s. My friend Tristan had a Mac LC with SideQuest drives, and they were both pretty powerful machines for the time, and so we would kind of ping pong back and forth between their two houses, all of us, like there were 4 or 5 of us, and we would all work on our comics for that issue of the newspaper that we do. And it would often go well into the night, and we would just talk to each other nonstop, and just like, hey, what are you doing? Or you could hear someone laughing at something they just did. And very early on, we taught ourselves Photoshop, and so we learned how to kind of shade and tone our strips and do any special effects that we needed to do in Photoshop. It was Photoshop 2.5. I learned on Photoshop 1.0. So 2.5 was like a revelation. There were still no undos, so it either worked or it didn't. Especially if you were doing a lens flare, you'd have to like just set it up and then like walk away for 8 hours for it to render. We would often do all of our comics by hand. We would scan it in 300 to 600 DPI, depending. Some of us had preferences over the other. And then we'd all kind of help each other. We would letter each other's work. We had special fonts that we would use, or we tried making our own, or sometimes we would just hand letter, or we'd have one of our other, buddies that maybe didn't have an issue or a comic in that issue of the paper. They would ink it up. And I'm the only one out of all those guys that are still doing comics. All of those people ended up doing something creative, except for my friend Cal, the one that had the Mac TV. He joined a cult. I haven't seen him in 25 years. But regardless, last night I was sitting in the dark and just thinking, wow, comics are awesome. And right now especially, like, I had one plan for the page I was doing. It's page 9 of chapter 5. I haven't written these pages yet. This set of pages I have not written yet, which is a little unlike me. I'm a little behind. But what I did was, I had a plan coming into it. I'm like, okay, I'll have this guy looking at a church, and that's how I'm going to open. You're going to see his back to him. And I said, wouldn't it be cooler if it was like a tight close-up of his face and he was looking almost directly at the viewer? That's a pretty cool thing. And then I realized, hey, wait a second. This is not a page turn. I need an in-betweener panel. And so I have this, or in-betweener page. So I have this in-betweener page of like 8 panels of music from the church floating out into the desert of hell. And this hooded figure hears it and he wants to go investigate what's going on. And so I took what was a 1-page little scene and I split it up across 3 pages essentially. And I'm thinking about that while I'm thinking, God, this is so cool that I have all this technology at my disposal. I'm posting these comics on social media. I'm posting on Patreon. I'm talking about it on YouTube. I'm doing videos to tell you all about it. And then also on top of that, like, I feel like I'm at the peak of my powers in a lot of regards. Like, I don't have the self-doubt that I did when I was that age in high school. I know exactly what I'm doing. I might not know exactly how I'm going to get there, but the confidence I feel in my own abilities right now is the best that they've ever been. I always feel confident that I can get myself out of a spot. And I'm not questioning myself like I normally do. I'm not thinking, it'd be better if I drew it this way or this way. It just, when I get done with a page, it's never the page that I had in my head, because I don't have that anymore. When you're a cartoonist, you oftentimes like, oh, I just want this page to look like this imaginary thing that I have in my head. I don't have that anymore. I kind of just realized it last night. It's so freeing not to have that inner critic and not to like hold up what comes out of your hands against what is in your head. And I was looking at this page and I was like, oh, well, this is what issue, page 9 of issue 5 looks like. I had no idea. And I welcome you into the world, page 9. And yeah, I just like wrapped up, got done, and I thought, man, comics are really fun. Just needed a reminder. Anyway, that's it for this week. Thank you all. Take care, and we'll talk soon.